Welcome back for another book review. Today we are talking about this one. So this is Sun Sign Houses and Healing, Build Resilience and Transform Your Life Through Astrology by Carmen Turner. I think it's pronounced Scott. I could be totally wrong. So this book is definitely a bit of a beginner's guide to astrology, but also kind of not. I don't know that I did it correctly for myself. I don't know astrology very well. However, if I did it correctly, it's a great resource. So the thing is, again, I know some things of witchcraft quite advancedly. I, much like every single other person, cannot be a master at all. Astrology is not my jam. I am beginner level with astrology. So when I looked up my natal chart, when I looked it up, at the houses had them in the signs, like your 5th house is in like Taurus, or your 7th house is in Pluto, or whatever. Or it was not Pluto, that's the planet. That's what this wants you to do. It had them in the zodiac signs. So that'd be what, like Scorpio or something? But anyways, so this book wants you to move it over to the associated planet, which was like early in the book that I had to keep constantly flipping to this page right here. This page, if you have a copy of this at home, it's page 8. This is the page you're going to be flipping to unless you write it down, because it tells you what planet goes to what sign. So like you got the moon in Leo. Wow, if I could read that correctly. You have the sun in Leo, moon in Cancer, Mercury with Virgo and Gemini, Venus with Libra and Taurus, Mars with Aries, Jupiter with Sagittarius, Saturn with Capricorn, Uranus with Aquarius, Neptune with Pisces, and Pluto with Scorpio. And when you do your natal chart, you get your houses listed out. I know it's not like Harry Potter, but you have your 12 houses. Sometimes you'll have planets there, sometimes you won't, apparently. So said this book. And so this is something that you need to have your natal chart to make this book worth your while. If you don't have your natal chart, like, it's not really gonna be much for you, because if you don't know that stuff, you're not gonna know it. Like, and that's the thing that really sucks. If you are adopted and you don't know these things, you're not gonna have any information. Like, it sucks, but you won't. It's just a part of you that is just a mystery. You can probably try to find what ones will work enough, but like, realistically, it's one of those times that I feel for the adoptive community who are pagan, if you don't know. If you have your adoption papers and maybe it was like a later adoption and you know the time and place that you were born, you're fine. But otherwise, I just don't know that you would find this information without that. Because like, I think your first house is also your rising or your ascending, and like that one depends right down to like the hour that you were born. So if you don't know that, this book is not going to really be that helpful for you. I would rate this one a 4 out of 5 star. This is a really good resource to start learning astrology. It is just one component to astrology, really, because you have your sun sign and then it goes through the different houses, but there are many other components to learning astrology and like learning your chart. Currently, I'm actually reading a book that's sitting over here on the couch that goes through all of the things, I think, of it, but when you look it up, like I use like Cafe Astrology, I think is what the website's called. But there's plenty of ones that you can look up easily, your natal chart, and just key it in and the computer knows the stuff and it just boom, goes done. You don't have to have somebody analyze over books for a long time. A computer can do it very quickly. It used to be a big to-do, now it's really simple. But this book, once you have your chart in front of you, going through the different houses and like what your signs are was fascinating, because some of them line up really good, sometimes not. Like, again, my husband typically doesn't fit the stereotypical Leo. Now some of the things he did when I was reading through it, I was like, huh, because I thought he was one way, and then I was talking to him about it and he's like, huh. And so it was like, we got some things, but other parts, like, I think it said that like Scorpios hate small talk, and I'm like, my dad is a Scorpio. He is literally a social butterfly. He will make small talk with everybody, ever. So don't feel like that applies. And like my mom's a Virgo, and it was saying that Virgos are like hypochondriacs. And she's like, I'm not a hypochondriac. But also there was a line that made us laugh hysterically because it's so true. As a Virgo, she cannot handle if like a picture is like slightly off, or if there's like dishes in the sink, they can't just like sit down and like watch Netflix. Literally has happened in our house. Like I've hung up like pictures for like the holidays, you know, like we do puzzles and then frame them and then you hang them up throughout the seasons, and like I've hung them up, and to me it's like it's close enough, it's good enough, and then she'll sit there and like look at the wall and eventually have to just get up and fix it just by like a smidge that it's just ever so slightly off. So like some of them are pretty accurate where you're like, yeah. And going through the different houses of your personality, it's really interesting because there was like parts that it totally rang true. I just didn't know that that was a thing because you get to learn all the zodiacs, or at least I do. I've got a lot of variety of planets going on, and like the next one tells you like, look and see which one is your primary. I'm like, none of the primary. They're all just kind of evenly chaosed out. So that's fine. But it was really interesting to go through the houses and see what areas of life and like what energy will help you to like deal with that. And again, I don't know what to tell you if you are adopted and you don't know this information. I mean, probably even if you know your bio parents, but like, you know, people who don't know when and where they were born, this is gonna be really difficult for you. I really don't know what you would do. I think this is just an area of witchcraft that's just not really for you. It sucks, but it is what it is. With that said, the recommended audience is anyone who is interested in beginner astrology. This is pretty beginner friendly. Again, I think I did it correctly. I could be wrong. I'm just going off of where it said house. Like literally, I wrote it down in my notes because it was like Mercury in the 6th house, because I had to write down what that was, because I had them initially of what the sign was, and then I had to go and figure out what these were, and then switch it over to the planets, and it was like Jupiter's in the 12th house. What does that mean? And so have your chart ready, and then you can start to learn it. And I think I did that correctly. I could be totally, absolutely wrong, in which case, my bad. I tried. But a lot of them lined up, so I think I did it correctly. Naturally, this is one I will definitely be buying. I would love to have a copy of this and just have it on my shelf for when I want to learn astrology things or talk about astrology with people. This is a good one to grab, specifically for the houses, like your sun sign and then moving into the houses. This is a great book. So anyways, I would love to know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you want to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightlittlecrafts. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.